I said you should read the Constitution, because I'm not going to make a mistake of attempting to have a third term or whatever term. Besides the age, I swore by the holy book I believe in that I will go by the Constitution, and the Constitution said 2 terms.
If they want, may we do third term, may we do referendum. May everybody waka or may everybody choose whether this Nigeria we want to stay together or everybody want going on. When we don't do referendum finish, moi, I don't go want stay. I don't mind. I go to look for visa, go visit them for Daura, check how the next level be. If you like, may they allow me stay there for 100 years. That one go be their personal business. But for this Nigeria where we dey, Muhammadu Buhari no go dare am. Say you want to do 10. Say waiting. We die for that nation. We sit down for road. We die there.
Is Buhari going to remain president beyond 2023? Does Nigeria still run a democratic system of government? Are there indications that Nigeria as a country could be slowly tilting towards a dictatorial government, hiding under the guise of a democratic government? These appear to be the unanswered question in the minds of Nigerians. Although General Muhammadu Buhari may have denied his bid for a 3rd term in office, would he stand by his words?
I have plenty reasons to say that he shouldn't come back. Plenty reasons that he shouldn't come back. He shouldn't even mention that thing that he's coming back. We don't want to hear that from him.
In 2010, Buhari stated that if elected, he was going for just a term in office. After the 2011 presidential election, Buhari had vowed not to contest the election, having contested against former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who won the nation's #1 seat. 3 years after, General Buhari took back his words and contested against incumbent Goodluck Jonathan. In his words, he said in quotes, "The people begged me to contest," end of quotes. The most striking case was in 2018 when General Muhammadu Buhari said that he was only going for just 1 term. However, he later claimed the people are calling us to contest for a 2nd term to take Nigeria and Nigerians to the next level, end of quotes. From these past scenarios, it seems that President Buhari may have backtracked on his decisions to run for president.
2 factors against the prospect of 3rd term. One is the unconstitutional and the consequences. 2, the issue of the age and his health. But as for whether he has it, he has what it takes to do it. Since the beginning of this country, this is the only head of state, president, that has cornered all appointing strategic offices to one side in breach of the Constitution. All the security agencies are in the hands of one ethnic and religious group. All the major federal institutions are in the hands of. And so if the sky has not fallen, what makes you think that the sky will fall if he decides to go for 3rd term?
In recent times, the 3rd term agenda of General Buhari has been up for debate on social media and in the mainstream. Reactions on social media suggest that Nigerians could be up for an unending regime. Could this purported 3rd term agenda be termed "the leopard never changes its spots"? Some Nigerians in some quarters are of the belief that the Buhari of 1983 has again resurfaced over 3 decades later to cajole Nigeria back into a military regime.
There are quite a lot of indicators that are showing that the government is preparing for something much more bigger than the citizens are probably taking note of. So for example, why would a government that has won a 2nd term want to clamp down on free speech, right? Secondly, why would a government that has won a 2nd term, that has got nothing to lose, clamp down on journalists rather? Why is a government that has got nothing to lose clamp down on civil society with the regulation and all that? Why would a government that doesn't have anything to lose want to have hate speech bill that will shrink civic space the more. So these are all the indicators that are showing and are pointing to the fact that there is something much more sinister and ulterior that the government is planning that we don't know.
Nigeria runs a democratic system of government and provides in the constitution 2 terms of 4 years each. However, it will take an amendment to the constitution for these to be changed. Hence, could the 2 terms allowed in the constitution now hang in the balance? On November 2019, human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, alleged that Buhari was planning to stay beyond 2023, a reason for the war against the media. Falana is quoted to have said, in quote, "Our country has gone to the dogs and the media must help. That is why the war is against the media, because for the 2023 race, there must be silence. You may have a 3rd-term campaign very soon. Very soon, they are going to destroy all possible opponents and they have started. So by the time they bring in the 3rd-term agenda, the media would have been gone. But we are not going to allow it." End of quote. A year to the expiration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo's tenure, Obasanjo tried to impute a 3rd term in the constitution, but that did not see the light of the day. Allegedly, Obasanjo began to pay lawmakers hundreds of millions of naira per annum as constituency allowance to curry their favor for his 3rd-term ambition. But the strong resistance of the National Assembly between 2006 and 2007 caused the bill to fail. Also, the former president was said to have sought to change the constitution for a 3rd term. The principle of separation of powers stipulates the division of responsibility into different arms of government, restricting any arm such as the executive from stepping into the role of the legislature. The APC-appointed leader of the 9th National Assembly, Senator Ahmed Lawan, appears to have been dancing to the tune of the presidency as opposed to the Saraki-led Senate, who challenged the policies and programs of the executive. Not forgetting that Lawan sought to become the Senate president in 2015 but was outsmarted by Saraki. Could Lawan's action and inaction be termed as feeding the fingers that fed him? There are allegations that the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives bow to the orders of the presidency. As seen in the proceedings and debates in the National Assembly, the number 3 citizen and the number 4 citizen respectively have not been seen contradicting the actions and inactions of the executive. The question now is there really separation of powers? Should the National Assembly agitate and fight to get things done? After being nominated as the Chief Justice of Nigeria and confirmed by the Senate on the 1st of March 2017, he was sworn in on the 7th of March 2017 by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as the 17th CJN. The removal of former Chief Justice of Nigeria Walter Onnoghen in January 2019 for alleged corruption sent shivers down the spine of Nigerians that there could be more than what has been bargained when the judicial oath of acting CJN was administered to Tanko Muhammad, who was said to be the most senior Supreme Court justice. What impact has been made by Tanko Muhammad since his appointment by General Muhammadu Buhari? During his regime as military dictator and his election as the democratically elected president, General Buhari has not obeyed court orders of the judicial arm of government, the most recent being the order by the court to release embattled convener of the revolutionary movement, Sowore, El-Zakzaky, and others in detention. Those orders did not see the light of the day. Why has the Chief Justice not spoken against the executive for not obeying court orders? Has the CJN, given the separation of powers, been reduced to being redundant? About a week after the DSS invasion of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, the CJN has not been seen condemning the action of the men of the Department of State Services, glaringly ordered by the presidency, although denied. Rather, the CJN is heard advocating for the amendment of Nigeria's constitution to accommodate some of the concerns of Muslims and the Sharia law. Perhaps the 3rd-term agenda could just be a call and a move away, given the dictatorial approach to things. Nigerians could be in for a surprise, judging from General Muhammadu Buhari's statements and antecedents.
now saying that if the constitution allows him to run for a third term, he would run for a third term. And then the holy book that he's doing would to be that he was upholding the constitution, which now allows him to run for a third term. As the way it is, whether we like it or not, there's no legislature in Nigeria. What we have is a caricature of itself that is in the pocket of the president.
From speculations and allegations, there are indications of the third coming of General Muhammadu Buhari. Will Nigerians accept his purported bid to return hook, line and sinker? Given the fact that he said he will obey the constitution, which perhaps could be up for an amendment in no time. Nigerians are watching and waiting to see if indeed General Buhari will push for a third term, or will he this time stand by his words to uphold the constitution and make his exit come 2023.